You ready, you think?
Yep.
All right. This is Tom.
And I'm Joe.
This is another episode of Know Huntsville. Right off the bat, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. We got Rocket Republic in here today. Thank you very much, Rocket Republic. They gave us some growlers. They gave us a sign. And that's great beer. We're drinking their watermelon today. And no, we're not. We're drinking the triple.
Yeah.
This is the triple. We
Tom
have watermelon,
us.
but right now we're drinking triple. So for this one, and it's really good. High ABV, so it's going to be a fun day. This is our first episode.
Good way to start the day
Good
off.
way to start it. Then we'd also like to thank. Hold on, I'll go ahead and drink it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Again, so thank you, Rocket Republic. Great. Man, if you haven't been out to Rocket Republic, they have a really good tap room out there. It's really cool. I mean, it's out in Madison, but they just have a really cool space, and they're doing a lot of stuff out there. They're showing movies and stuff, and they have bands come out there.
Ping pong
And cornhole and the whole thing. So it's a really good spot. So check out Rocket Republic. Really good guys out there. Also, we are in, if you haven't noticed, a new studio space. We seem to be jumping around a lot, but I think we have a home now.
We have a ceiling.
We have a ceiling, and we have air conditioning and a bathroom, so it's really nice. Thank the good folks over at Pinhook Provisions.
Thank you.
They've started something really cool out here. They're doing a food truck rally that's going to be ongoing. And during the week, you can come out here and get breakfast in the morning with the food trucks and also lunch. So check out Pinhook Provisions off Bob Wallace. They have graciously given us studio space, so we'll be filming from now on right here. And it's a really kind of a cool thing. So Pinhook Provisions, check those guys out. Thank you so much. So let's get to the episode today. We have Phillip Kovacs, VP of Education from Appleton Learning, to talk about something really cool. We kind of brushed on it on some previous episodes, but now we want to really get into it. And it's this thing called Vastly. It's a website, govastly.com. And the whole concept, and I'm going to let you talk to it, but the whole concept is just replacing textbooks with the cloud, with the internet, right?
Correct.
So I'm going to let you kind of dive into it, and we can talk some more about what we're trying to do with this website.
Great, thanks. Thanks for having me back.
Right,
Enjoyed it the first time.
It was fun the first time.
You're just moving up. The space is a little bit nicer.
Right.
It's nice not to be sweating bullets.
Eventually we'll be respectable.
Yeah.
I would hate to see that happen to two kind people such as yourself.
Exactly.
So here's the deal.
Right.
Textbooks have changed painfully little since we were kids and we were in high school.
Sure.
It is a collection of disassociated facts that very important adults have deemed important to know. Okay. And there's a narrative running behind these textbooks, and the narrative goes something like this. You come to school every year, you work your way through this book, you find the answers which are neatly compacted inside of here. We can see how much you've learned by having you put A, B, C, or D on the Scantron. It's all very efficient. You sit down, you be quiet, you plow through the Scantron, you get a good job, you live happily ever after. That's the narrative in schools today. If kids say, I used to say, why do I have to learn this? To get a good job. That's a horrible answer. You know how many jobs have you had? How many jobs have you had? I used to be a lifeguard. I've worked at a daycare. I've driven a forklift in a factory.
Nice.
I've flipped pizzas. I've made burritos. I've had so many jobs.
Me too.
Right.
But this thing called life, you get to live one time. So I want to argue that schooling should be about life and living and not plowing through textbooks. Now, there are facts and ideas and knowledge systems out there that are important for kids to learn and to understand.
Right.
But instead of supposing that us adults have it all figured out, which we don't, what if we worked with kids in a sort of dialogue or a transaction, helping them move through all this information and all these ideas to construct a sort of personal narrative, personal experience, and some personal engagement with the world that they're living in and evolving into.
Okay.
This is getting a little heady.
No, it's good.
So if
We're
you
good.
need to reel me in,
I'm
the triple and not the watermelon.
It is a triple.
I'm following you so far. We're good. We're good. All right.
So every disassociated fact stored inside of textbooks are available right now online for free. When I was in, it's true. It's
No
true.
way.
When I was in 11th grade, I had Miss Barge for chemistry. You were great, Mrs. Barge. I will never forget you. I wasn't a huge fan of chemistry. Didn't see a lot of point in it. Liked it even less when I had to memorize every atomic weight and every atomic number of every element on the periodic table.
Right.
For what? It's not rhetorical. I want one of you two to tell me why was I...
It helps us do the show somehow.
Okay, all right.
There's no practical reason.
Good
Unless you're a
jobs,
chemist, I
right?
would think.
Right, but if you're a chemist, you use the elements every day, and the elements that you use, you internalize and understand because you've been using them. So I want to switch the narrative of schooling away from learn all this disassociated stuff so that one day you can get a good job. I want to change that narrative entirely to who are you? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? How can we help? Why should we? So my name is Phil. I'm evolving in the world, and I like NASCAR. I don't like anything else. I don't like your science. I don't like your math. I don't like your English. I don't like your history. I think I talked about this maybe a little bit the last time I was here. I don't like it.
Right.
But what if you let me study math through NASCAR? So it's like, okay, you're in a car, it's
Right.
going 200 miles an hour, you've got this much gas, you've got to last this long.
Right.
How much, what speed can you go at maximum for X amount of time? That's a crazy math problem all of a sudden. But I'm
Right.
game for answering it. And because I can't figure it out by myself, I'm going to go see the person called math teacher. And math teacher is going to teach me the type of equation, I think it's algebra here, that I would use to figure out fuel or fuel conservation. And then we can talk about tires because tires are important. And if I'm talking about tire density, which is also important, there's a need to go see this person called science teacher. And I can do this science project on plastic density or something like that.
Okay.
And in order to do it, a science teacher takes me to this thing, not sure if you guys have heard of it, it's brand new technology, it's called the internet.
I've heard about it.
Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it.
Okay, there is a lot of stuff on it. Most of it's not suitable for children. But if you can vet it, right, if you can vet content on the internet, then you can turn kids loose onto it to learn whatever they want to learn about.
Okay.
And that, long-windedly, is the project.
So Vastly is sort of this kind of, I would say, this informational hub that delivers this content
Yeah.
with certain filters
Correct.
that matches the type of learning that the person that's visiting the site to them
Yeah,
specifically.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So how does it do that? So tell me.
Trade secret.
Well, to get the viewers out there to understand what you're trying to do.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is do some video of some of the site.
Yeah.
So walk me through. So we were just kind of on your site.
Okay.
And we did
Higgs boson.
So Higgs boson. This is just kind of giving a tutorial on what it's going to look like eventually. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is still a concept that
That's
you're putting
true.
together.
Right.
And again, it's govastly.com.
Right. So you're looking at proof of concept right now.
Right, yeah.
And if you enter Higgs boson, you'll see where we're headed.
Right.
And where we're headed is what I'm calling the Educational Genome Project.
Okay.
So just like there's a human genome, every sort of concept or idea that we can throw out there has backing stories and narratives and concepts attached to it. So it's kind of like a genome in and of itself.
Right.
So when you enter Higgs boson and only Higgs boson, and this costs us about $50,000
For
to
now,
to
when you
deliver
enter that in your site, right?
to deliver this result, which
Right.
is a concept map search result of what the concept around Higgs boson will look like.
Okay.
And concept map search results, in my humble opinion, very humble, is a game changer for education.
Right.
Because right now, we treat children like they're all the same. And when we give them a concept, we pretend that they're all going to engage with it or learn it at the same way. And I think that is problematic for anyone who's a parent who knows that their child is special and the best, or needs some extra help for the more honest parents.
Right.
But also for anyone who understands that creating engaged problem solvers means that we have to introduce education and educational ideas to children in a way that makes them go, well, that's interesting. And I'm more interested in this thing called particle than I am on Higgs boson, right? So I want to jump over here for a little while. Is it cool if I do that? Under the current paradigm, it is not cool if you do
Because the
that.
textbook has a certain, like
There
you're
you
saying,
go. It's
linear way that you're going to
right,
teach.
right.
And this is kind of offering a different concept to that.
Yeah, multi spokes, if you will.
Right.
And when you put it when you work your magic,
Right.
your viewers will see what that's going to look like when we build it out fully.
Right, because it's kind of information, like you were saying, spokes, these informational spokes, and you can click on these different areas
Yeah.
that expand out,
Yes.
and then you can kind of run down that path.
Correct.
And it matches people what they're interested in, and then
Correct.
gets them interested in it so
Yeah.
they can continue on that journey, continue on that education.
Perfect. And then if you want it tracked, I understand that some people don't want their data tracked. I don't blame them. But if you want it tracked, we offer that.
Okay.
And what I'm arguing for and hoping that we're moving towards is away from standardized test scores, away from ABCD report cards,
Right.
the data technologies that have been used, Scantron since the 1973, report cards since maybe the 1800s, and towards digital portfolios. So instead of here's a number, here's an A, okay, whatever. You see, wow, this guy studied the Harlem Renaissance, and here's a short movie he made about it.
Wow.
Right, all right, or this guy's really or this girl's really into theater. Here's her diorama of the Ford or the Globe Theater, that Shakespeare's theater. I think
Right,
it was the
sure,
Globe.
yeah.
I could be wrong.
The Globe.
Need to get online and Google that. Or this person's really into NASCAR, and here's his understanding of fuel efficiency, and look how he used algebra to figure out exactly how much gas he needed, right, in a race with a tailwind or a headwind.
Customizing their learning so they don't get bored and they don't fall through the cracks when they're not learning the
Sure.
same way as other kids. you know?
Sure.
Yeah, and
It's
that concept
awesome.
is people are understanding that people learn differently from
Yeah.
other people. And trying
Right,
to
but and
achieve-
our interests are different as well, right?
you
So
go,
can
right.
I, instead of teaching English by saying, okay, we're going to get this textbook out and we're all going to do the same thing. No, here's how you should teach English under this paradigm. What are you into? Write me a paragraph. Okay, we're going to take the paragraph. We're going to talk about fragments. And now we have a legit reason to look at fragments, because if it's all fragmented up, I don't get a clear understanding of who you are or where you're going or how you're going to get there or how I
Right,
can
right,
help
right,
you
right.
along your trajectory. So now there's a reason to go see this English teacher, right? So I can write better in order to communicate more effectively, in order to make progress along whatever path I'm sort of laying out for myself.
Man, it's just
It's a great concept.
yeah, no, it really, it seems to be very, I don't know, that it seems like we've been in this kind of mode for so many years.
Oh,
and what you're saying now
yeah.
is just, to me, is so intuitive. Like, it seems like
Yeah.
you should connect to people and get them interested for already the things that they're interested in, and then apply that
Right.
and get people who can take those concepts and really just learn better that way. It
Yeah.
just seems like a no-brainer.
And there's still, I mean, you can still fit any sort of standards into this framework. They're
Right.
back-ended.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're into horses and you want to race horses. Fine. You've got to understand that there's food, there's a certain diet that they need, there's certain conditions that need to live in. So you've got to go do this thing called research, and when you do, you can meet standard X, Y, and Z through researching, right, horses. But until now, or until recently, there wasn't a textbook or a library that was capable of holding all of the information that would be needed to sort of
do that.
individualize education. Right.
And your website is serving that.
That's the
the
problem.
concept.
And it seems like a no-brainer. It's like YouTube.
That's the
Hey, we're
version,
putting videos up. It's
Right.
going to be amazing. Google bought YouTube for $1 billion. Could they not put videos up themselves? No.
They bought that brand.
That's exactly right. So I'm here today asking you for $1 billion.
Well, more to the point, it's govastly.com. Also, you have a Kickstarter. If you look up
True.
Vastly or you look up Phillip Kovacs Kickstarter, you can see a page where you're trying to get some more funding,
Yeah.
get this thing going. There's a very nice video that's put up that kind of explains the concept.
It's a very nice video.
It's very good, and people should go and check it out. It's very exciting. I think turning education on its ear and getting people to think differently about how we should be educating our kids is something worthwhile. It's something worth putting effort into. We all have kids. I think it's an important thing. We should continue doing that. Every time I hear you talk about it, it gets me excited about the future not being like how we did it. Right?
Yeah.
These heavy textbooks that
Yeah.
cost too much money,
Yeah.
that take up space.
Yeah.
When we have this great resource of information, and I think it's going to be something that's really cool. So hopefully we get it funded, get it going, and as it grows, as Vastly grows, we want to be here to help you promote it and
Yep.
continue on putting it out there in front of everybody.
Well, I want to continue coming back as you upgrade, because now there's like a couch.
Right.
Soon there's going to be a green room. There'll
Yeah.
be mints. I
It's
can
gonna
make
be-
demands.
like
I
I
can be
said, we got a
like, I
bathroom
just
now,
want
so-
orange M&Ms.
It
And
can
you'll
happen.
have to
It's gonna
accommodate me.
happen. So,
All right.
Philip, thank you so much for coming in.
It's my
It's really
pleasure.
exciting. Like I said,
Yeah.
every time I hear you talk about it, I know how passionate you are about it. It gets me excited about it. I think there's a good future for people because of people like you doing these type of things. I
Cheers.
think it's going to be great for our kids and for future kids. and just to make everybody smarter in general. It's really kind of cool.
All right.
So thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And again, thanks to Rocket Republic.
Yeah,
thanks to
thank you.
Pinhead
That was
Provisions.
good.
That's it. Thanks a lot.
These are nice coasters.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice glasses too.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for
That
the
was
beer.
good. I think
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
was
listening.
good.
That was good.
I always like listening to you explain it again.
All right.
Very.
It's
you
just,
articulate
man,
it
it
well.
seems like
I mean,
common
you
sense
make
to me.
people-
It's a little
Yeah.
frustrating at this point in time.